Hi everyone, welcome to CTF Security. I'm so excited to bring to you our first video on the Tryhackme platform titled The Basic Pen Testing. If you're hearing the word Tryhackme for the first time, Tryhackme is an online platform which teaches cybersecurity to beginners and experts. They also have a platform where these learners could practice their skills. And now back to our topic, which is basic pen testing. The basic pen testing is an awesome machine on the Tryhackme platform. It teaches basic concepts in pen testing, especially web application pen testing. Concepts such as brute forcing attacks, hash cracking attacks, service enumeration, and including Linux enumeration. And most importantly, web application privilege escalation. Now, there are two ways to connect to Tryhackme platform. We can either connect through the start attack bus. This is usually recommended by Tryhackme itself, and we can also connect using the OpenVPN machine. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to be using the OpenVPN. And if you scroll right down here, you can see the instruction right here. Make sure you are connected to our network using your OpenVPN configuration file. Now, to access your OpenVPN configuration file, you have to just click this link right here. And once you click the link, you'll be taken to the access page. From here, you could check your connection status. As you can see it under the connected status here, we have it cancelled. So what we need to do is to download our configuration file. So I'll just click on this. I have already downloaded this configuration file. Once you click on it, it will be downloaded to your download folder. So what you need to do is navigate to this particular folder. So I'll just cd into my downloads, and if I ls, you can see list of my configuration files. So I have other files, but what we're interested in is the OVPN configuration file right here. So what I need to do now is to use the administrative privilege using sudo openvpn, then the name of the file, which is this, and I will just hit the enter key, then my sudo password, enter. This will take about few seconds to load up right here. Once you have the initiating sequence completed, now we have our VPN connected. To be sure, all we have to do is move back to the access page and reload this page right here. So as you can see, we are now connected to the Tryhackme network, and we're given the IP address of the 10.4.42.5. If you want to view this particular IP on your system, it's usually called the tune0. So you could navigate to your Kali machine and just sudo IPA, and if you navigate here, you can see the tune0 IP address right here to be 10.4.42.5. So what we need to do now is go back to the interface. Since we are connected, we need to go back to the interface here and navigate back to our basic pen testing machine. So just give that a seconds to load. So I'm trying to make this video as short as possible, so I will be pretty fast about some concept on this particular video. So if there's any concept you want me to make a video on, please simply drop that in the comment section below. Moving back to our machine, we have the first question. You can see some questions require no answer right here. Like this first question says, deploy the machine and connect to our network. What we need to do now is to click on this start machine right here to deploy our machine. So we'll give this about 1 minute to display our IP address right here. So we are waiting for our IP address. I can just click on completed. So we have 14 seconds left. Okay, we have our IP address right here. So I'll just copy this IP address. One thing I like to do is to export this IP address into a variable so that I wouldn't have to type this IP address every single time. What I'll do now is navigate right here, and I can see into the folder I made for this tutorial, which is called the Pentest. I can use the export IP, which is the variable equals to our new IP address, and I'll just click on the enter. So once I echo the variable IP, we have our IP address. So we can use the IP variable instead of this IP right here. So that is pretty much easy to memorize than this number right here. So what we're going to do now is head back to our Tryhackme questions. So we have deployed the machine. So the next one says find the services exposed by the machine. So if you're confused right here, you can just click on the int button right here. Use an Nmap scan to look for the open port. So what we're going to do now is to use an Nmap to search for open ports. The command is Nmap. We do a script scan. So we can do a version scan. So I can output if I want to into a file called let's call it basic scan.txt. Lastly, let's input our IP address, which is IP. Make sure it's case sensitive. I'll just click on the enter key. This failed because we have a file called the basic scan before. So what I'll do is I'll just delete this file. So I'll just remove basic scan.txt. So ls, so this file here is empty. So now I can run the same command again, and this will take some time, maybe about 2 to 3 minutes to complete scanning. So while this is scanning, okay, I think we have a problem. The host seems down. I'll just ping our host. Okay, our connection is pretty poor. Just reload that again to make sure we are connected. So I was having issue with my connection, so I have to restart the machine entirely. So I just start up this basic pen testing machine right here, and we have about 25 seconds left to get our IP address right here. And I've also restarted the OpenVPN. I just relaunched the command right here. So we're going to be given a new IP address, and we'll just wait for that, and we are going to, okay, nice. So what I will just do is copy this and head back to our terminal right here, and I'm going to export it. Export it to this, and okay. So we can clear this and ls. Do we have any file? Okay. So I can remove basic scan. So we can just issue the Nmap scan, which is Nmap script scan. I can decide to eliminate this right here without the saving the file. Just use our IP address directly. Okay, we have our scan going on. Let's just hope we don't lose our network again. So we're just going to wait for that scan to complete. So while that is going on, let's take a look at other things. What is the name of the hidden directory on the web server? So in order to find hidden directory in the web server, we have to perform a directory brute force. And if you click the int right here, okay, use direct search, direct buster to find the hidden file. So but we're going to use go buster to perform this task. So go buster, if you don't have this on your Kali machine, it doesn't come as default on Kali, so you have to install that. So you could just use your sudo apt get install go buster, and we're going to issue the direct and we're going to issue the URL and then specify our word list. So I'll just clear this, sudo go buster, and but before that, I'll locate my word list. I'm going to be using the the Dellbuster word list. So we have a word list called Dellbuster. So I always like using the medium. I'll just copy this. So if you have any other handy uh, directory brute forcing word list, you can also use that as well. So let's see if our scan is done. Okay, that is still going on. Okay, so our scan is done, and you can see some couple of message right here. We have the port, the SSH port 22 is exposed. We have our HTTP port exposed. We have our 445 exposed. We have our port 80, and I think that is all. Okay, the last time I did the scan, we have I think we have a port 8080, but I can't seem to find out, but that is not a problem. So now we head to this, and we click on the complete. So we have successfully find services that are exposed on this machine. So what is the name of the directory on the web? Okay, so now we head to our brute forcing. So I'm just going to copy this. I think I've done that, but I'll just do that again. Then we issue the command sudo go buster. I think that was wrong. Go buster, and we issue the directory command. Then we are searching for the URL, and our URL is the IP address. So I'll just go and copy the IP address again. So I'll just okay, I think that's here. No, not here. So I'll just paste that right here, and we're going to issue a word list to this, and our word list is going to be this file right here. So I'll copy that again, and we'll just paste that here, and I'll just click on enter. I'll supply the sudo password, and we'll let our scan go on. So this will also take a couple of this will take about 5 minutes or so, depending on how fast your PC is. I'm just going to head back and we'll leave that to run. So the next thing is user brute forcing to find the username and password. So we need to use brute forcing to find the username and password. And there's another tab right here. What is the username and what is the password? Okay. So we'll just wait for our Go Buster to complete before we head to this next question. So I'll just go again and see. We have another directory. If you're running this for the first time, you just let this complete. But since I've done this and I've tried this before, so this is the directory we're looking for. So I'm just going to quit this to save more time. So I'll just click on this, and we need the development right here. So I'll just copy this development and head to this part right here, and I'll just paste that here. Remember, without the slash. So I'll just paste the development alone and click submit. Okay, that was correct. We are going to do a user brute forcing to find the username and password. This is also, let's just click complete. Okay, so what is the username? In order to find this username, we can do this two different way. We can use a tool called Enum for Linux to enumerate the users on this machine. The other way is we can try to enumerate, since there is an SMB port open, we can try to enumerate this port right here, the port 445, to see if that could leak out the user on this system. But first, we are going to be doing the Enum for Linux attack first. So to do this, I'll just open a new tab. I will be needing the IP address, so I'll just grab that one more time right here. So I'll cd into our directory as usual. So basic pen test. And now we're going to be using the enum for Linux. So you can try to complete this. We're going to be using the tag A to perform all enumeration, and we're going to be using the IP address, and we can pipe this into a file. You can pipe it into a file called user enum.txt, and we can just send that. So this will take some time. So while this is enumerating, let's take a look at another way we can try to enumerate the user on this particular machine. So I'll just head back to our Nmap scan. On the port 445, since the port 445 is open, we can run a script scan. And if we navigate to close this terminal right here, we can search for a particular script. I can locate NSE. Let's see if you have okay, I can just close that. That's too much. Let's see if we can locate Nmap folder. We should be having script. Okay, we have the script right here, so I can just copy the script directory, and I will cd ourselves into that directory. So let's that. Find the username and password of this machine. What we can do is to enumerate the shares on this machine and to see if that will give us an additional information that could aid our attack. So what I'm going to do is to locate the SMB enum shares. So this is the script we're going to be using, but first I will grab my IP address. I'll just copy that and make sure it is exported. So I'll grab the script I'm using. I'll just copy the script name. You can omit the .nse. And I'll go to a new terminal. So we issue the command sudo nmap. We're performing an nmap scan, and we are using a script called the SMB enum, and we're giving it an IP address. We'll just wait for that to complete. While the scanning is going on, let's see what our enum for Linux has for us. Okay, these are the information the enum for Linux is able to enumerate, but what we are interested in is this particular SID right here, which is the domain is user and the username is K, and we have another user called Jan. So these are basically the two users on this machine. So let's see if we can get additional information on the SMB enum. We're just going to head back to the SMB enum. Okay, our scan is still going on. I'll just pause this video till when the scan is done. Okay, so welcome back. From this information right here, we're able to gather that we have an anonymous share. That is, we could log in and view the content of this shell without a password, and we have the IPC. What we're going to do right now is to try to connect to this anonymous share right here. So we're going to use the smbclient tool built into Kali to do that. So what we're going to do is to issue the command sudo smbclient. I'll issue the command IP anonymous we just click on the enter without any password, and that should give us an SMB shell. Okay, good. So we have an SMB shell, so I can dir to see what is in this directory. So we have a file called the staff.txt. I can get that file using the get command, staff.txt. okay, getting file staff.txt of size 173 as staff.txt. So we are done with this share right here. I can exit and clear this. If I ls in our directory, we have a file called staff.txt, so I can cut that file. We have an information right here, announcement to staff: please do not upload non-work related item to these shares. I know it's all in fun, but this is how mistake happen. This means you too, Jan and K. This information further prove the point that the information we got from the enum for Linux enumeration is actually correct, the K and the Jan user. So what we're going to do is to fill in user brute forcing to find our username. So we have a username, so I'll just click what is the username, so supply Jan right here and submit. Okay, that was correct. And there's another question asking for username. Okay, what is the name of the other user you found? So K, so we have Jan and K, so I'll submit that. Okay, that was correct. So what we're going to do right now is we have the username. So how do we get the password? In order to get this password, we can decide to use a password cracking tool called Hydra to brute force using the SSH port, since we have an SSH port open on this particular machine. So what I'm going to do is go to the new tab right here, so I can close this. So we're going to issue the command sudo Hydra so we have account name to be Jan, and we need to supply a password, and we're using the rockq.txt word list, and here I'm using our IP address. So I'll just issue our variable into this, and we are brute forcing for SSH. So I'll just hit the enter key. Okay, we have our Hydra brute forcing the SSH, looking for the possible password for the Jan account. So we're just going to pause the video and wait till Hydra finish cracking the password for us. Okay, so that was fast. So we have a password called Armando for the Jan account right here. What we're going to do is to fill that in. What is the password? The password is Armando. What service do you use to access the server? So of course we use the SSH through Hydra. Enumerate the machine to find any vector for privilege escalation. In order to do this, we're going to log in into the Jan account. I'm just going to clear this. We're going to log in using SSH Jan, and we're going to specify the IP address. Are you sure you want to connect? Okay, yes, of course. Permanently added to the IP address. We're going to enter Armando as the password for Jan, and we are into Jan's account. Firstly, who am I? So we are Jan currently. What I want to do is go to the home directory to see if we have another folder for the K account. Home. So we have the K account, so we're going to try to change directory into K, and let's see if we can ls. Okay, so we have pass.back. Do we have any other question on Jan's account? Okay, no. So enumerate. Okay, we're currently enumerating for privilege escalation into K's account. Okay, we'll just head back. So we have a file called pass.back on the K's account. So let's see if we have privilege to open the pass.back file. Okay, permission denied. So we don't have permission. So let's see who has permission to view this file. Pass.back. Okay, this pass.back. So only K has permission to view the pass.back file. Let's see if we can view the SSH key, that is the private key for the K account. I'll just cd into SSH. Okay, and we have privilege to the SSH account, to the SSH directory, I beg your pardon. Okay, we have a list of authorized keys. We have the IDRSA and we have the IDRSA.pub, so we can cut the private key. RSA. We have our private key. What we can do is to create another private key which we can use to access this K account. What I'm going to do right now is to copy this private key. Start from here, begin RSA private key, and all the way down here. I'll just copy this, and so I think we lost our connection. So let's see. I'll just reload my VPN. Okay, I can just clear this, and I'll create a file. Let's call that KIDRSA. So we're trying to create a text file called KIDRSA. So I'm just going to paste what we copied into this file right here and save that. I'll just reload this. ls. Since we are dealing with a private key, we're supposed to be having this file read only by the owner of the file. But before I do that, I'm going to pass this into John to crack the password for this private key we just created, because the private key is passworded, so it has a passphrase. So we need John to crack this password for us. But now John does not understand the SSH private key, so we need another tool called SSH to John in order to convert this private key into a hash file understandable by John. What I'm going to do is to locate SSH to John. We have the SSH to John right here, so I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to use Python, then I'll paste the file. Then what is the name of the file? The name of the file is KIDRSA. Then I will put it in a file called KIDRSA hash. And if we ls, we have another file called the KIDRSA hash, so I can cut that file. We have the hash file for this private key. We can pass this hash file directly to John to crack this passphrase for us. So what we're going to do is to issue the John command. I'm going to use sudo John. So the name of the file is KIDRSA hash, and we're using a word list. So we're using the raw queue word list. So what I will do again is to grab the word list one more time. So I can just use this tab right here to grab. So locate raw queue. I can just grab this and we'll head back to our terminal. Equals to, then we'll paste the directory for the raw queue file right here, and we can hit the enter key. So our sudo password, okay, so we'll leave this to run, and we'll be back once the password. Oh, that was very fast. We have the passphrase for our private key to be beeswax, as you can see it right here. So what I'm going to do right now is to SSH into the K account using this private key called the KIDRSA, and using a passphrase called the beeswax. I'll just head back here, and we're going to exit from John's account. So I can clear this, and before we do that, we need to set the privilege for the KIDRSA file. This is the privilege. So I need to set the value to 600 for it to be readable by just the owner of the file. What I'm going to do is to use the sudo change mode. The name of the value should be 600, that is readable by the owner, and not readable by the groups. I'll issue the name of the file, which is the KIDRSA, and sudo password. So let's see if that has been set. So we have our file readable and writable by just the owner of the file. So we can SSH into K's account now. I'm going to use the SSH K, but first we're going to use an identity. K, the name of the file, and the K user, the IP address, and the port should be port 22. Enter the passphrase for the key. So what I'm going to do is to just grab the passphrase here, and I'll just paste that right here. So we are in the case account. This has been completed. This has been completed. What is the final password you obtained? So we're looking for the final password. Can ls. So now we have the privilege to view the pass.back file. I'll just cut the pass.back, and we have the final password right here. I'll just copy this and paste it right here, and we can submit that. And just like that, we are done with the basic pen test. So the basic concept of privilege escalation on this machine is our ability to view the private key of K's account from Jan account. So that is particularly the vulnerability on this machine. So guys, that will be all in this video. If you're interested in walkthrough videos like this, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And if you have any question regarding whatever concept or tools or attack methodology we've used in this video, don't forget to drop it below. See you in the next video.